Hello friends, hello everyone, and welcome to something that is very, very different and something I haven't really done before, but it seems obvious that I should probably do it. I'm going to do a game pick-em-ups or pickups or whatever people call it these days. This is my cat Sherlock, by the way, who may be in the frame now and again trying to ruin the video. But mostly I like to collect games that have been out for a while on older systems. I'm mainly a PlayStation kind of collector since that was my main console, so PS1, 2, 3 and 4 obviously. But also I have a Switch, I have a Vita, and I have a couple of old obscure titles that I like to collect, just weird things that if I see something that I've never seen before and it looks odd, I will probably pick it up. Don't think this is going to be a monthly thing, since I don't pick up that many games to make a video out of it, but probably every 2 or 3 months or so I'll probably do one of these videos just to show you what games I've collected over the last few months or so. So this collection is stuff I've bought over the last 3 or 4 months, so it's kind of going to be a longer video than normal, so just bear that in mind in the future. I'm not a person that has a lot of storage space. I just still live in a flat, but and I would like a bigger collection, obviously, but I need to prioritize to games I really, really wanted to pick, or as I said earlier, games that look incredibly weird and I still want to pick them up. Let's start off with something that I would like to announce to the world because people may judge me straight away. I am collecting for the PlayStation Vita since it died. I have been for the last year or so, and my collection is not huge, but in my eyes it's probably bigger than most people's who still have a Vita. I've got around 30 to 35 games, and I've picked up a lot recently through limited run games. So limited run games, and they'll come up a lot during this video. American-based company, obviously I live in the UK, but they do ship over to the UK, and what they do is they do very limited copies of mostly digital games at first when they come out, but they will make physical copies of these digital games. So ones I'm about to show you are some of the latest ones. Probably by the time you see this video, there's new ones out already, but some of the latest physical copies that they have sent to me. Bear in mind that it takes months for these games to get to me, because not only do you have to order them months in advance, it also takes a long time for it to reach the UK. So some of these titles a lot of people have had for a while now, so just bear that in mind. The first thing I want to show you is Valhalla on the PS Vita. So as I said, this is from Limited Run Games. There's only usually, especially with Vita titles, they only do about 2,000 to 3,000 copies of these. And Valhalla is a game I've spoken a lot about in the past, and I've said a lot in the past that I've wanted to play it on various different platforms. I said in the last Steam sale that I was going to pick it up, and then I heard about that it was coming to the Vita, so I hold off and I was like, okay, I'm going to buy it on the Vita 100%, I'm going to buy it and I'm going to play it. This just came yesterday, it's still in its packaging. Valhalla, for those who don't know about it, is a game where you are a bartender in a kind of cyberpunk-y universe, a futuristic kind of universe, and you basically just bartend. You mix drinks and you make drinks for customers and you have conversations with them, and that's pretty much the game. But it's received huge praise, especially on PC, on Steam. I like the idea of this game just as a kind of chilled out game where you can just sit down and like get the story come to you kind of thing. I think it's just an interesting game and has interesting mechanics behind it, especially with the way with the mixing of the drinks and how you serve it to customers and all that kind of stuff. But it's an interesting game. If you haven't picked up this, which you probably haven't, definitely check it out on Steam, and I think it might be coming to Nintendo Switch. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's either there or will be coming out very, very soon. As I said, Limited Run is very good, but it is, for someone who's buying it overseas, it can be expensive. Normally a game like this is around about between, in my currency, £10 to £20 digitally. If you want the physical copy, it's around $30, around about $30 plus the $15 on top, so it kind of works out at $40. So games can cost that usually are much less digitally. could cost up to like £30 just to buy the physical copy. But I love physical copies of games, especially really rare ones. Just something unique and something I can keep down the line. That you gotta have physical copies. If we all go digital, it's going to be a very, very sad day. But either way, I also picked up Child of Light. This is not a limited run game. This is just a game that not many people knew or know came out on the Vita, and this is the complete edition, so it has 7 DLCs on it. Didn't play Child of Light, so I decided to pick this up. I got this fairly cheap. It's very, very hard to find though, the complete edition of it, especially on Vita. But I heard good things about it. It's a platformer game with story elements to it and all that kind of stuff, but I haven't seen this around a lot, so when I did spot it, I pretty much had to pick it up because I didn't know it was on the Vita, especially as a physical edition. I also picked up, don't judge me for this, I also picked up Dead or Alive 5 on the Vita. I don't have that many fighting games on the Vita. I think, I don't even know if there's a Tekken game. I don't even think there is. I'm not sure. I'm sure there is other fighting games. I know there's the PlayStation All-Stars and all that kind of stuff, but that didn't really interest me when I started playing it. But Dead or Alive 5, it's a Dead or Alive game. It's probably got interesting things about it, and I just decided to pick it up to give it a go. And it's a fighting game that I don't currently have in my Vita collection, so there is that. World of Final Fantasy on the Vita as well. This is also sealed. I just got this the other week. This is a fan servicey kind of game. That sounds really wrong, but it's basically a game where it's not a official Final Fantasy game. It's more or less, it takes a bunch of the characters from the previous games and puts them into this kind of cutesy, like, small body, big headed world where all your favorite past Final Fantasy characters are available and they can join your group and all sorts of stuff. So it's more an intriguing kind of game. I kind of just want to know what it's about. But again, a Vita version of this is a hard thing to get, and it's usually quite expensive online to get one of these, but I managed to pick it up quite cheap. And it is, it's a Final Fantasy game. I haven't said much about it because I haven't played it yet. I'm just more intrigued about it when I saw it, and I was like, maybe I should give it a go, since I sort of like the Final Fantasy games. Sort of, not all of them, as most people feel the same way. Next one is the Sly Trilogy. This is Sly Raccoon, Sly 2 and Sly 3. Again, very, very similar to, I would say, Ratchet & Clank, especially when I was growing up in the PS2, PS3 era. I always saw this as a kind of Ratchet & Clanky kind of game. I thought it was made by Insomniac. It's not. It's made by Sucker Punch. But it is in that similar vein. It's like cartoon character, third person, running around adventure style game. And this has all 3 of their past games on the Vita, which I thought was really, really cool. And great value to have 3 games on one single card. So I thought, might as well pick it up, even for old nostalgic reasons. Virtue's Last Reward. This is a sequel to 9999 Doors, which originally came on the 3DS or the DS. I can't remember entirely, but it's it's a sequel, but not really a sequel. It's just the next step in the type of game they make for these. This game is very much like Escape the Room, the game, but it has much more to it than that. It's got very, very good, very, very good reviews. It's one of the best games on the Vita, reviewed wise. It's a story where you are put. It's very much like a version of the Saw movies, where you are in. There's a bunch of characters. If you ever play something like Danganronpa or anything like that, you are put into a scenario, and there's a bunch of characters in that scenario, or in the room or the space you're in, or situation is probably the best word. If you like Danganronpa games, I think you would really, really, really like this. This kind of came out before it. I think Danganronpa 1 came out, just before it. But this is a very much a mature game, but it's a interesting game about escaping a situation, or in a desperate need to escape a situation, and you're trying to figure out how to do that. At the same time, weird things are happening, around you, and the storyline gets weirder and weirder as you delve deeper into it. So highly recommend this game. I haven't finished it yet, I just started it, but it is very, very interesting. Okay, Switch games. I have 2 to show you. Majority of my time on the Switch has been playing indie games, and it's been a blast, and I still think the Switch is bloody amazing. Okay, Dead Cells. This is a game I'm playing currently at the moment. There'll probably be a review coming out in about a week or so's time, once I kind of delve a little bit more deeper into it, but I've played roughly about 10 hours of this game so far. It is a roguelike dungeon crawler, similar to Rogue Legacy, if you've ever played that, but it is a much more adult version of that, much more violent version of that, and I would say a much more interesting version than that. This is probably one of the, if not the best roguelike I have played so far, in my opinion. This is something I can't stop playing on the Switch. I love roguelikes, but I only love them if I really enjoy the aspect of dying a lot, if I really want to go through everything again. This game throws up so many surprises that you just want to play another game. I know with roguelikes you're expected to die a lot, which is fine, but if they're not interesting enough to, you know, come back and, you know, revive yourself and go back throughout the whole stages that you just went through already again, if that bit is not fun, then I don't like a roguelike. This is very, very fun. Every time I goose up, every time I die, I'm all like, oh, that was my fault. You know, it wasn't really the game trying to really punish me. I do feel like in this game I could run through the whole game, you know, at an early stage and finish it quite quickly if I was skilled enough, but I feel every time I'm playing this game I am just personally, as well as upgrades and all that kind of stuff, you feel like you're learning a lot more about the game, which I love about roguelikes. I love it when it's not just about the upgrades that make you better in the game. It is the actual learning how to play the game properly. What's the best way to approach things? You know, things you can learn. It's not just about, you know, how many points do you put into your armor, how many points do you put into your sword. It's about you learning how to figure this game out, and which I love about Dead Cells. It's fan-fucking-tastic. I really, 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 really recommend Dead Cells. I'll have a full review up in a week or so time, but there's my initial review, so you know what I think about it already. Thimbleweed Park. I think this is the first Limited Run Games Switch physical copy that they did. I'm pretty certain this is number 1. If I look at the back. Yes, it is number 1 on the back of the box. Thimbleweed Park, if you don't know about it, it's been a game that's been out for a while. It is a point and click sort of game, but it's on the Switch, and it does work fine on the Switch. So you just have to move a cursor around everywhere, but it does work absolutely fine. It is an interesting game. It's funny. It's got X-Files, Twin Peaks, and piss-takey sort of vibes to it. It really reminds me of the 90s TV shows that we used to watch, but it also has a sense of humour about the whole thing. It is interesting. I do want to play more of it. I just haven't had the time really to delve into it, but I do want to finish. I played a couple of hours of it, but it's got that real, like, 90s show vibe to it, and it knows it's a 90s show vibe, and even the main characters kind of look like Mulder and Scully from the X-Files. And it's an interesting game where you are 2 investigators who are found a dead body, or investigating a dead body in Thimbleweed Park, and you basically go out throughout the whole town speaking to various different characters. You also play as other characters as well, and go jump back in different timelines, trying to figure out what happened, who kills who, and then you start realizing there's more to it than that and all that kind of stuff. But it's a very interesting game. If you're looking for a funny experience, I think this is right up your alley as well. I should mention as well, both these games are on the Nintendo eShop as well as digital copies, so you can play them there as well. PlayStation 4 games. Don't judge me. The Order 1886. I didn't play The Order 1886 because I heard of a lot of bad things about it. I heard it was short. It was very, very good looking, but it wasn't a very in-depth game and people were quite disappointed they spent 40 odd quid or dollars or $50 or whatever to play this game, and it was cut incredibly short. This I picked up for £5, so I was like, I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to play it probably in one sitting, see what it's like, see what the fuss was all about, and just experience it for myself. So the Aura 1886, I know a lot of people don't like it, but for the price it was, and because I never really tried it, I just kind of want to see what it was all about. So maybe some people liked it, I don't know. Dragon Age Inquisition. I don't know why I picked this up, because I never played any of the other Dragon Age games, but I saw this and I was like, oh, I could play it on the console one day instead of playing on the PC, just on the couch. I haven't played it, so I don't know. I still haven't played any Dragon Age games. I'm just intrigued by it because it was a console, PlayStation 4 port, and I was, you know, usually with games that or series that I don't get into, I would usually buy I have a PC, gaming PC as well, that I mainly play games off because it's a beast. But I'm also getting a PlayStation Pro that's coming in a few weeks for Red Dead. So I'm starting to play a lot more, especially as I get busier as an adult. I'm starting to play a lot more games on the couch rather than on the PC, because on the PC I work a lot and I do a lot of stuff on there, so every time I sit down there I feel like I'm about to open Adobe Premiere or Photoshop and try to do stuff, but it's nice just to sit down and relax and play something. So usually with a series or a game I haven't delved into yet, I will try out a console version copy, because I'm more likely to play that game rather than it's sitting on my Steam account. Wipeout the Omega Collection, latest Wipeout game to come out on the PlayStation 4 in a lovely little sleeve. This sleeve is actually quite good. It's a bit awkward because it's meant to represent the PlayStation 1 era, because this is meant to be a collection of every single Wipeout? I mean, it's 26 tracks, 46 46 ships, and 9 modes from Wipeout HD Fury and Wipeout 2048. So okay, so there's only 2 games, but it's meant to be a PlayStation 1 kind of sleeved throwback. It is, but yeah, it's obviously in the shape of a PS4. It looked really odd when I saw it, and I was just like, okay, I get it, but yeah, it's not really PlayStation 1, is it? But I do like it a lot. I haven't played Wipeout, I haven't played this yet. It's sat on my collection, but I did like the Wipeout series. The last one I played, it was on PSP, I think. A long time ago. But I did play a lot on PS1. The very first Wipeout, I played that a ton. And I played the last, I think it was 2048 on PSP, and I enjoyed the hell out of that as well. So I wanted a Wipeout game. I think it's 2-player as well. Yes, it is. So it's good to have a split screen kind of racing game as well on the PlayStation that I don't really have. I think the only one I have at the moment is Drive Club, and I don't really like that game that much, so either way. Oh yeah, the Batman Telltale collection. So yeah, I played the first episode of this, and yeah, obviously with the recent news in the last video I made about Telltale going under, it's kind of my duty really to finish this and see what it was all about. Obviously there is a season 2 as well, I remember. That came out, but I'm still trying to get through season 1. I like the first episode. It's got an interesting hook at the end of it that makes me want to play it on, and I mean, it's a Telltale game. It's very. I find this a lot more interesting because of it's a character that I love. Batman is my favorite superhero, so it was a major selling point. But I also tried stuff like Game of Thrones, the Game of Thrones game, which I'm a massive fan of the TV show, and that really, really didn't work. So I'm kind of scared of that same thing happening. But I'm still going to finish this, obviously. I do enjoy it somewhat, but it's mainly down to the fact that it's Batman, and I kind of like that whole Bruce Wayne and Batman, split personality kind of thing he's got going on. So yeah, it's an interesting game. Shame about Telltale, so you will forever remain in my collection as a reminder. Monster Hunter World. Really, really excited to play this when I got it. Because the last one I played was, I think again on the PSP, there was a Monster Hunter Freedom? I think it was called Monster Hunter Freedom. I played that on the PSP. Enjoyed it. Didn't love it. I don't love it like a lot of people do, with a lot of hardcore Monster Hunter fans. I don't think it's just clicked with me yet, so I decided to get this one to try again and see if it clicks this time around. It's after a couple of hours, I like the idea of it. I like the whole you go out hunting and you can go out with friends and stuff. It'd be much better if I had friends in this game, let's put it that way. No one I know owns Monster Hunter, so it's a lot more difficult to enjoy it. But soloing it was not the... You like Monster Hunter, don't you? It's your favourite game. So going back to it, after a few years, especially this new updated game, new graphics and everything, after a few hours of this game, there's something about the combat or something that I just don't... It doesn't really click with me. I prefer, especially combat in a game, I prefer it to be a super smooth experience, but it's also fun. And it's fun to move around with the character and all that kind of... At least the controls just feel fun and it feels great to play. Every Monster Hunter game I've played, I have not liked the control scheme at all one bit. And I'm trying to like it because I know a lot of people love Monster Hunter games, but it's just not clicking with me at the moment. I like the idea of you going out and hunting for monsters and stuff and collecting gear from them and making new stuff from the monsters that you've killed and all that kind of stuff. But if I'm not enjoying the actual gameplay of it, I'm just not going to enjoy the game. But I'll keep trying and give it a go another time. And finally, on the PlayStation 4 collection, this is Steins Gate 0 Special Edition or something like that. Steins Gate, if you don't know what Steins Gate is, it is a visual novel that got turned into a TV show, and then the TV show got very, very popular, and now everyone in the anime kind of world knows what Steins Gate is. It's a very, very, very popular TV show at the very least, but is based off the games that they make. So Steins Gate was the first game, and Steins Gate 0 is the second game. Now, I can't go into what this is about without kind of spoiling what Steins Gate is, but if you don't like visual novel, very heavy text-based kind of stuff like in games, go watch the TV show, go watch Steins Gate, the TV show. I'm probably going to talk about this in another video, but it is one of the best animes you'll ever see. If you don't like animes, that's fine, but trust me, if you watch things like Death Note, watch this, because this will make you love it. It's an anime that you can watch. It's a fantastic TV show, one of the best animes I've ever watched ever. Steins Gate 0, they've also made a TV show out of it as well. I'm currently watching that. I'm not playing this game because I'll tell you why. So I ordered this and I thought, I'm not going to watch the TV show. I'm going to play Steins Gate 0 on the PS4 and get the special edition with the art book and everything on there, and it looks nice and everything. And I boot up the game. Now I originally think that, it's got English on the back of the box. It must be English language. It's not in English language, it's in Japanese. It does have subtitles, but I can't do that many subtitles. It has to be a mix. Like, it is full-on subtitle English, and there is no English kind of dub, which I thought there would be. Now, that's fine, and you know, you can play games like that. I have nothing against them, but I don't like playing games that are full-on subtitles. I like them when they're half and half. Stuff like Persona 5, which is a mix of voice acting and reading subtitles. If it's just constant subtitles, especially in a visual novel, which is going to be quite long, I won't be able to sustain that much energy. It just takes a lot of effort, that's all. I find it takes a lot more effort, especially looking at a screen all the time. So I stopped playing it, and then I started watching the TV version, which is dubbed in English, which is very weird why this isn't dubbed in English. But I will say, going on the TV show, that if you like Steins Gate, Steins Gate 0 is a very, very interesting opening so far. Hasn't got kicked in like Steins Gate, the original, did yet, but the idea, the story behind it, and the plots that sets up the whole story is what made me intrigued by this thing. And I can't say what that is unless you play Steins Gate, the first one, but if you know what this is and you've seen what the plot is in this, just read what it's about, then that will probably intrigue you to play Steins Gate 0, or at least watch the TV show, which I think is on Funimation in English, if you want to go and watch it instead of playing the game. But I have nothing against visual novels, I just can't, I need to have a bit of English voice acting in it. Nothing against Japanese voice acting at all. It's a long game. It's just not what I was expecting, that's all. But I'm sure it's a wonderful, wonderful game. I'm just going to watch the TV show. So I got I got a DS and a 3DS game. Let's talk about the 3DS game. So you may have seen this in a video I did a while back, well, a couple of months ago, where I was talking about Nintendo training. I did it over on the Total Gaming channel. It's gone now because that's not the kind of video that I should have been doing. But I highlighted this game. This is called Outdoors Unleashed Africa 3D Outdoor Action. It's made by a team called Funbox Media. I saw this in a shop and I immediately just went, what the hell is this? It is a safari shooting game where you go on safari and you shoot elephants, lions, rhinos, leopards, fucking birds, endangered species. You are a hunter killing off the wildlife. Oh, speaking of wildlife, hello. It is so odd when I saw it. I haven't played it yet. I can't wait to play it. Where it's like a railgun shoot. It's probably fun. Who knows? It might be actually a fun game, but this is the concept of it. Where you just go into Africa with your M60. You're shooting elephants, innocent elephants and lions and stuff. And if you like House of the Dead, but like Safari, that's probably a game for you. I don't know. I will play it one day and report back. Next up is a Nintendo DS game. This is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated Grand Theft Auto games of all time. This is Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars. I played this on the DS and it blew my mind that I could play a sort of 3D-esque version of Grand Theft Auto on a DS, and it was so fun. I had so much fun with this game and I can't wait to play it again. The most cool thing about this game is the way it just incorporates the touch mechanics into the game itself. So in order to hijack a car, you have to hotwire it, which means you have to move things on the screen. You have to get the two wires together and hotwire the car. Or when you're dealing out drugs, you have to put the drugs and split the drugs and the money into different bags, all that kind of stuff. It just adds a little layer on top of a Grand Theft Auto game, which I hugely enjoy. I still I don't mind the aspect. Obviously, the power of the DS couldn't do a fully 3D game. Maybe. I don't think it did. I don't think it could do a 3D game, really. I've never really seen a third-person 3D game on a DS, especially. But it was still a really, really fun game. I absolutely adore this game. I think this is very, very much underrated. I think you can get this on the PSP as well, but I prefer just the DS version because it has more. It has the touch mechanics to it, the touch-friendly mechanics. So this is really, really good, and I hugely, hugely implore you to pick this up if you have not played it. And finally, PS3 game. This is a game I've been looking for ages that wasn't too expensive, and I finally found a price that I could actually pay for it. This is 3D Dot Game Heroes. This came out, I think, towards the end of the PlayStation 3's life cycle, I believe in 2010-ish? Believe so. It is a Again, it's a very underlooked game, but it's very much in the similar style to Zelda. And it looks like a Minecraft game, which is what I think turns people off as soon as they see it, but it's very, very much not like a Minecraft game. You basically create your own hero, and you run around in this Zelda-like, old school kind of Zelda-like world, and you pick up upgrades, and the graphics and the way this game looks, especially with its pixelation, looks really, really nice, especially way back when in the PS3 era. It looked absolutely fabulous. I think weirdly enough, yeah, From Software, the creators of Dark Souls and Bloodborne, published this game. It is a really, really, not underrated, but underlooked kind of game, because everyone who's played this has enjoyed the heck out of it, and it plays really well. It's got really fun upgrades to it that change the world drastically and the way you play drastically. It's a very, very fun game. I highly, highly, highly recommend checking it out. If you can, they are getting pretty limited, or at least if you can find a copy that's under £20, you'd be very, very lucky, so I'd pick that up if you could. But if you wanted a Zelda, old school Zelda-like experience, I would definitely pick up that game. And that is everything I've picked up in the last 3 or 4 months. I'll probably do another one of these videos in about 4 months' time or so, after Christmas, once I can show off what new goodies I've got. But thank you very much for watching, guys. Please subscribe to the channel. Please check out Telltale Gaming, my other channel as well. There's going to be new things coming up on there. Very excited about. I'm going to do Red Dead, maybe. Okay, bye-bye.